population. Shout out to the church. Shout out to the community. Shout out to everybody. Hope y'all having a prosperous, fruitful, abundant, positive, uplifting, encouraging, inspiring week. All right, family. Listen, I ain't got all the time in the world. Okay. Y'all see the title? We're going to be Mars and Taurus vibes real quick. Quick little energy update for all signs for the most part. So I'm gonna just be, doing my little seeing things through the stars and seeing what some of y'all are dealing with for the most part. I've mentioned I'm doing live streams on Patreon every Tuesday and Thursday, family. Live streams on Patreon every Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll be completing series. All right, we'll be completing series. So right now we're going through the house series. Right now we're going through the house series. So on the third house, we're going to be streaming on the third house this evening. All right, guys, and that's going to be ongoing, continuous thing. All right, so we're going to the houses to the planet. Y'all know I got my series going on YouTube as well. So that platform is always going to be to concentrate and focus and have more of the intimate setting for what we got going on. All right, so I know y'all going to be just coming in the building. Good sister Ebony. Sound bad? Damn. It's static. I think I gotta put my mic on.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, testing, check 1 2, check 1 2, audience. I said check 1 2, testing. How does a good brother sound now on the microphone thingy thing? How does a good brother sound now? Do I sound like I'm in alignment? All right, good sister J over there. I see you in the back, our sister. Good sister J said I'm coming to y'all the way the Lord want me to come to y'all right now. All right. Ooh, my brother, the ghetto guru, super. I see y'all, family. I see y'all, Tori, the exquisite lady. All right, not the obnoxious one, not the scattered one, the exquisite one. All right, family. So once again, just like I was saying before, I was sounding crazy for the audio was out of alignment. I hope everybody's having a prosperous week. All right. Hope everybody's having a fruitful, abundant week. I just want to come on and do a quick read for Mars and Taurus. Quick energy read for all signs, for real, for real. So it's kind of a general read, but we're going to introduce it with Mars and Taurus. All right, guys. Mutable energy is going crazy. Gemini energy is going crazy. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down with all this damn Gemini energy going on. You do not have to act on every idea, family. Let me just get that one out the way. Now y'all really feeling what it feel like to be a Gemini right now, don't y'all? Y'all be having everything in the world to say about them good brothers and sisters. All right, Gemini, I got y'all back. We cousins. All right. I got my air kinfolk back. Happy solar return to all the Gemini geniuses in the chat, in the building thing. Shout out to all them good people, all them brilliant minded people. Okay. Don't nobody know how to sit down. Don't nobody how to be stable. Don't nobody know how to have a thought right now and be like, you know what? I can act on that thought on Thursday. I do. It is Tuesday at 3 a.m. I do not have to act on that idea right now. Some people just now realizing how much goddamn voices you be having in your head in general. It just took the sun in Gemini, Mercury in Gemini at home. It just took all of this to highlight it, didn't it? Shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all know I love y'all. Y'all already know TT, I see you. That's my good sister right there. I was just thinking about you earlier, bro, and boom, here you are. There we go, bro. We just be summoning the church sessions. We just be summoning these Johns. Everything is spiritual. Y'all already know the vibe. All right. Let me not be too long-winded because like I said, Patreon every Tuesday, Thursday, family on Patreon, right? I want that platform to be more of an intimate setting where we could build, upon this science. All right, y'all know I got series going on here, but just throwing that out there on Patreon every Tuesday, Thursday, private live streams, and they're going to consist of series. Right now, we're on the house series. Today, we're going to be streaming on the third house this evening. I posted clips of the first and the second house already. They're pretty lengthy clips, so these are pretty lengthy, streams we've been having, but What's a short stream with me, which I'm trying to accomplish right now. This is a challenge right now. I'm trying to test myself, family. But what's a short stream with me? That don't even sound right. That don't even sound right. All right, so but that's what we got going on over there, family. Y'all go ahead and tap in. Now, look, guys. Now shout out to happy birthday to all the Geminis. Happy Mars return to all the Mars and Taurus. Shout out to the Mars and Taurus in the building, all right? That's a true hustler placement right there. You're going to have these people tell you that the detriment placements and the fall placements ain't got no power. Don't let them tell you that, family. Don't let them tell you that them detriments and falls ain't got no power. All right? There's a lot of examples of people working their power out here in the world with a fall and a detriment, like a muggery. All right? Shit, my sun is at a fall. Shout out to all my Libras. Shit. My sun is at a fall. I'm going to get my black ass up and act and express like a mug. All right, so shout out to Sister Neoma Nova. All right, y'all in the building. So let's get right into it. So first of all, like I said, guys, general read, Mars and Taurus, read for all signs. I got a half an hour. All right. Now, first of all, family, all right, we're in this last section of Gemini season. Okay, we're in this last section of Gemini season. We're working up towards a full moon. Working up towards the full moon right now, guys. All right? We just came off a new moon. New moon energy is very creative, inspiring, is growing, is blooming. The sun coming out some more. A good brother planted some seeds in the backyard the other day, trying to get my little gardener bag, a little some, just a little some. That's all. All right, shout out to the earth signs. All right, they know something about that agricultural thingy thing. But with that being said, let's get back focused. Dr. Umar voice. When we look at this last section of Gemini season, okay, you have to take everything into account. The first 20 degrees with different interactions and the most stimulated ideas you've caught from the external realm. You know, this 2/3 of this transit. All right. Think about the things since the start of Gemini season. I really want to take this back to when Jupiter conjunct. Like we could take it back kind of to like the end of Taurus season, with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction leading into Gemini season. We kind of go back to that point. Think about the things that's been heavy on your mind, especially from what you've developed from a habitual space, from your habitat. So a lot of us right now, we're trying to filter out different ideas that we want to hone in on to create new habits on, while identifying how we think about things based off of our surroundings, based off of such a active stellium. A lot of things may have got reawakened from our childhood. We know Gemini is dealing with adolescent stages of life. We know Gemini is dealing with, early childhood. So when you have this many stelliums and it's a Jupiter entrance in here, right? Jupiter spends a year in a sign. So every time it gets into a sign, it's going to recollect all the shit it already been through in this sign. Okay? So, AKA, we recollecting a lot of how our early childhood, a lot of how early relationships, a lot of how the things we've been taught, or how we've even been conditioned from an education point of view, is affecting our everyday habits and how we deal with interactions and how we look at certain ideas. Why you have this idea and you don't entertain it as much as you entertain this idea. Maybe because this idea is more inspirational, is more goal oriented. I haven't been pushed to be active about goals based off my conditioning. Maybe because this idea, I entertain this because this is something, an idea and an action I see a lot of people entertaining my surroundings. It may not be good for my personal development, but I'm comfortable entertaining that idea. Wait, hold on. What did I just say? Is an idea that I manifested from the influence of my surroundings, even though I know it's not for my well-being. So this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing right now. We're just doing a whole bunch of mental gymnastics trying to identify original thought and our environmental influence. Now, guys, the thing is, we got the moon in Virgo right now. We're dealing with big mutable clash energy. All right, we're dealing with big mutable clash energy. We know Gemini is a long-winded brother just like me. We know Gemini be here today, gone tomorrow, like a mug. Okay, so Gemini need to sit their ass down. Virgo actually know how to sit their ass down sometimes. So actually, I don't. Virgos, you are a sign that I've been having a evolving outlook on over the years. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all's the most Y'all move around a lot for Earth side. It's that Mercury influence. That's what it is. Y'all move around a whole lot for Earth sign, and y'all know y'all. I think I gotta place y'all in the top 5 most incognito signs, like Virgo dominant, Sun, Moon, rises, Mercury and Virgos. I'm gonna have to start placing y'all in the top 5 most incognito. Let's just keep it at that. But the thing is about when we dealing with Virgo energy, we're dealing with regimen and structure, the feminine side of Mercury, honing in and understanding. All right. We know we're dealing with heavy critique energy, all these planets in Mercury signs, moon transit in Virgo. So with all of that being said, family, be careful of how, you deal with constructive criticism energy amongst interactions in your relationship life right now. We may be the ones wanting to push out some healthy critique on others. We may be the ones receiving it right now. Be humble. Take account. I don't want to say take accountability, but be honest, be transparent with others. So you could really digest the little mental gems you need right now to potentially tighten your game up where you have, Virgo, or basically what we're here to expand upon in our Gemini house. Okay, so once again, a lot of filtering of the relationships here. Venus is still close to the sun. Be careful of all actions dealing with love matters. Why? Because we see it very close. Everything dealing with love matters, what we like in love right now. Venus next to the sun is very close. So we may feel like we have to react to everything dealing with love matters. But y'all got to remember, the sun burns planets out, has the potential to burn out planets next to it with its temperament. AKA, when it comes into how that results into this experience, sometimes, our ego, or we can have extreme action on things that we feel like we have a lot of influence or control over. So guys, just be careful of all extreme situations with how you express yourself amongst love matters, being able to discipline yourself with access to things that we find pleasures. It's in Gemini energy, so a lot of the things that we like, that we love, can be exchanged amongst our close environment, close friends, people we really fuck with. They get into this and they want to share it with us. We don't have to participate. All right, understand where your personal development direction is around this time, family. Do you hear me? I mean, do you hear a good brother? Okay, so Mutable energy getting crazy. We preparing for that summer solstice. About to get into Cancer season very soon. Shout out to them Cancers. I see y'all. Don't worry. Be patient. Everybody got to get their time now. Everybody got to get their time. But Mars just finished up its Aries transit, family. Mars just finished up its Aries transit. Okay, so the Aries house can breathe to a degree for a little bit. It could breathe for a degree. I mean, to a degree. Okay, we've had all different type of things going on. We've had eclipses taking place in Aries. The node is still there. All the activity during Aries season. Okay. So now we all have way more clarity as far as how we should represent self, the I am self within the collective, moving on for the rest of this 8 year. We went through the ringer with Aries energy. We went through the ringer here, guys. All right. So be careful of, you have to be mindful of how transformations can take place for the rest of the year based off of you not respecting, honoring, honing into that sense of individuality that we've had to evolve and develop intensely this first quarter of the year for the most part. All right. Or the entrance into the year. It's very important to take into consideration. Your whole Aries house should be upside down. Your whole Aries house should be upside down. It might be upside down from a negative perspective based off a lack of attentiveness. It may have did a 180, you in a whole different new situation in your Aries house in some different type of shape or form based off all the mini transformations that led up to a huge transformation in this area. So, that Aries house, yeah, it's time to take a little breather there. All right. And now Mars is in your Taurus house. So Mars just left an empowering space into a detriment space. All right. Mars just got out of a highly empowered space and now is in a detriment space. So it has to deal with the whole adjustment of slowing down in Taurus. It has to deal with the whole adjustment of having to be a bit more practical, have more of a plan here. All right. And that ain't Mars forte. That ain't Mars forte. Mars trying to go ahead and do its thing when it wants to do its thing. All right. We know Mars could be a little aggressive, forceful young brother. All right. I be having to tell the young blood relax from time to time. Little brother just be too excited, be too passionate. All right, be scaring girls off sometimes. I be like, I know you a little young excited, brother, but that aggression gonna scare him off, little brother. All right, gotta relax. Okay, shout out to them Aries and them Scorpios. But with all that being said, let's get back focused. With all that being said, now Mars getting the Taurus, so passion is still there. The energy of Mars don't change. Is the how we give off the passion changes now. So guys, as with the pace of energy, with things, with all this Gemini energy right now, a lot of things dealing with interaction, the clash or the aligning of different mentalities. Mars and Taurus has to have more of a sense of regimen and order when it comes into things that are exciting, new passions, anything that we're driven about around this time. You can burn out quick with Mars and Taurus. You can burn out very fast with Mars and Taurus. All right. Mars and Aries was a whole different game. Mars and Aries was a whole different game. Mars and Aries has such a high sense of vitality. Sometimes Mars and Aries, you get so much with strong Aries placements, you get so much done on little sleep, on little rest. Niggas is working overtime like a mug, getting that extra Red Bull, that extra coffee, getting it in during Aries season. Is another sense of vitality here. Okay, so Mars gets into Taurus now. It being too forceful and not aligning with a sense of patience and order with things and making sure that it's keeping its value system in check. And that's what Mars gets challenged with here. That's something that needs to get spoken more about this placements. Mars can be a selfish little mug sometimes. Mars be about his desires. Mars goal oriented. Mars is a very raw energy. So when it has this intention to manifest or accomplish something or do something based off of a desire, okay, now it's in Taurus. There's a sense of pleasure involved here. Now it's in Taurus. There's a sense of materialism and certain access to certain things. How far will Mars go? How extreme will Mars go to manifest certain things dealing with pleasure, right? Or a certain desire dealing with materialism, superficial influences. How far will Mars go? And that's when things get a little crazy here. So this is why this placement can manifest superficial tendencies. This is why this placement will be the rappers and singers that rap about their goddamn money. 11 out of 12 songs on the album. Like, all right, mother flipper, we get it. We got it on the first album. So Mars and Taurus, this is why they can have this persona. This is why they could be very braggadocious at times when it comes into things dealing with materialism, the money, how fly they get. Mars and Taurus sometimes don't even give a damn. A lot of Mars and Taurus people, I ain't trying to stunt on y'all, say y'all don't have no, y'all can't dress well, but sometimes they don't even give a damn about the fit. They'll just tell you this suit cost me 2 racks. You ain't never bought a suit in your life that cost 2 racks. I don't care if I look like a preacher in the 70s. All right. I don't care how this suit look on me. It costs 2 racks. Okay. So it has the aesthetic influence of Taurus, but then again, it's dealing with the fact that look how much it is a sense of pride, Mars, a sense of pride that comes into things dealing with its values and the value system in Taurus dealing with materialism and whatnot, money, then that's how it can end up manifesting. On top of Mars just being aggressive for anything dealing with pleasure. So it's going to have to be a sense of discipline, management of overindulgence here when it comes to superficial habits, spending, guys, spending habits. You know, Taurus has everything to do with spending habits, not just potential income gain, your spending habits as well. All right, Mars don't be giving a damn about spending habits and budgeting here neither. All right, so yeah, we gotta bring the balance. Y'all know it's the lucky Libra. We gotta see the polarity things. We gotta see the light and the dark side, family. Okay, nonetheless, when it comes into our value system, yeah, we can be extreme, but we have a new sense of passion about it. We have a new sense of passion about it, depending on where Taurus is at in your chart. All right, depending on where Taurus is at in your chart. All right, guys. So Mars and Taurus may be really passionate about things dealing with fashion, dealing with those Venus-like aesthetics, fashion, how they're able to put things together appearance-wise, but it can manifest into that stunting on you type influence. You got this rapper wearing something crazy. They got Mars and Taurus. They're wearing something crazy, but it costs this much, and they're going to tell you that. Like, nigga, shut up. Talking about, I got a feminine outfit on. Nigga, this shit costs blah, 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 blah. That's how they probably talk to you. All right, so you got that going on. Mars and Taurus. We're going to just start from the top. Taurus. All right, Mars has just entered the building. Shout out to all the Taurus suns and risings. Mars just entered the first house. Mars turned up in the first house. So anticipate people trying to challenge your personal values. All right, anticipate a couple of spiritual fights here. Let's keep it erect. Let's get to the meat, the spiritual meat and potatoes here. All right, Mars brings such an intensity to the first house. Here, it attracts the intensity from the seventh house sometimes. All right, you gotta look at the opposite square houses. So you may have people challenge your values, and that brings out the true pride in your personal aspirations and goals. So don't wait for intense situations to drive you to be more invested with personal aspirations and goals and personal transformation in general. Let's say you want to lose weight with this placement. You know, the first house dealing with appearance in the body. Mars coming here. Mars is gonna start developing a little bit of courage, motivation. Mars has the ability to penetrate to get to just. It could do it to a degree the way Pluto can, but not the way Pluto could really get to the crevices, to the root foundation of things dealing with blockages. But Mars has a way of finding blockages. So when it's in the first house, anything that's a blockage towards personal evolution, transformation, that's going to have a heavy feel of frustration and unfulfillment here. This could start manifesting in you lashing out in an extreme ways with your personal expression. All right. So we want to tidy those things out, tidy them things up now. But there has to be a sense of pace at the same time. You are a Taurus rising. You know personally you don't like moving ahead of yourself. Taurus rising, know you don't like moving ahead of yourself. But that's why, you're going to feel a little pep in your step now, Taurus rising. You're going to feel a little pep in your step with Mars getting into the first house now. There's going to be a lot of things, you may have wanted to cement, start building, stabilizing in the first house, right? And now Mars is going to give you that, motivation to, give life to something dealing with a personal aspiration or a new form of a spark to something dealing with personal development, transformation. All right. Just make sure we have healthy outlets of that energy in the first house. Mars in the first house is so powerful. So much things can shift in this transit. So much things can shift in this transit. It's just that Taurus, you have to be aware that things that you're content with in the first house are going to get challenged. So let's say you are having a sense of success, momentum, progress with something in your personal life, either personal development, weight gain, weight loss, personal value, a business, something you're structuring in your personal life, whatever it may be. Let's say you're seeing progression with these energies, but you're being content to a degree. Mars is going to manifest a situation to help you look at the perspective of maxing out instead of, just being content, All right, let's try to excel more than just be content. So that's what we got going on with Mars in the first house, Taurus suns, Taurus risings. All right, be careful of people being a little power and controlling with y'all in y'all personal life. If you're dealing with any form of business management with others, make sure they're not being too power and controlling. Make sure you're keeping in mind how people's expressions may be revealing hidden agendas and intentions in some type of shape or form. Nonetheless, the first house should go through a huge evolution of transformation. The sun just left this house not too long ago. All right, so there's a new awareness about who you are personally. Mars is here to do a lot of the dirty work to manifest that result. Can I get shout out to them good Taurus suns risings. Gemini. All right, Gemini, neighbor sign. Gemini suns risings. Mars is in the 12th house. All right, Mars is in the 12th house. So here, you're already dealing with a lot of activity, interacting with others. You're manifesting a lot. You've manifested a lot of center stage positions. That energy of being center stage is kind of going to stay here, even though when Venus, Mercury, and the sun move out, because Jupiter's still here. So you can always be exalted for things you have experience with. You can always create opportunities. You could hack the shit out of Jupiter in Gemini for the rest of this transit if you can embrace any position, letting your experience, knowledge, wisdom be seen, especially if you're going to communicate it, relate it, give some form of type of literacy behind it. You're gonna write a book behind it. You're gonna write an ebook. You're gonna get a chat GPT. You're gonna, whatever you do, if you give some information about something you experienced within that Gemini house, that go a long way with this transit. All right, Gemini. However, you may be a little unstable right now because there's so much activity going on. So right here, couple of thoughts thinking about personal development. Over here, a couple of thoughts thinking about love matters. Over here, a couple of thoughts dealing about career. You got a lot of go. Over here, a couple of thoughts dealing about spiritual development. There's a lot going on in that area right there. Mercury got your antennas very high right now. So your sense of being alert should be very high as to, having discernment with what partnerships you're participating with. With great power come great responsibility. So you still have the lens to navigate any type of unstable, reckless, chaotic activity that you may be dealing with in your life right now. All right. Nonetheless, Sun in the first house, Venus, Mercury, all these energies in the first house. You're seeing the potential of you more than you've probably seen in a long time, because you're manifesting all this light in the first house. So not only are you being able to see things about yourself, people are explaining or exemplifying things about yourself, so you gain more awareness of self. Well, all that being said, now Mars comes in the 12th house, is next door. So you become more passionate about things that are in a birth stage, the womb. You get more passionate about things dealing with belief systems that can result into things dealing with lifestyle changes. All right. So what this is going to do here, this is going to, you have to make sure you have a sense of maturity dealing with exchanging values with others around this time, because Mars and Taurus could be extreme, stubborn, and prideful about things dealing with its value system. But you're in such an interactive space. So what happens if you're so prideful all the time and you're not coming with a sense of openness towards your value system, interacting with others? That may fuck up opportunities. That may clash situations in your environment. You don't need that friction. You don't need that resistance right there. You feel me? Be a little bit more open towards other people's value system. The 12th house is dealing with connecting to the collective. You may have somebody give you some new insight and guidance about something that you're passionate about in the 12th house right now. So it comes down to you being in Mars. The way we hack Mars is being intentional, family. The way we hack Mars is being intentional. So if you know you got Mars in that 12th house, what are you going to be intentional about when it comes into cleansing the subconscious? What are you intentional about connecting to the collective? What do you want to receive from the collective from a partnership relationship perspective? It could be a creative relationship, more of a spiritual bonding relationship, more of an expansion to your social environment in general. What are you more intentional about? What are you more intentional about when it comes into how you want to possibly inspire, educate the collective in some type of shape or form? What are you intentional about taking something that you've experienced and creating a new belief system because of that, right? Creating a new philosophy in your life because of that. When Mars is in the 12th house, it don't have no filter about jumping into his imagination or something creative. It just goes right into it. So these people are very impulsive and highly passionate and prideful, once again, when it comes into Mars in the 12th house people, when it comes into their belief systems, when it comes into anything they're creatively invested into. All right. So you're experiencing that while being in a highly interactive space, Gemini. So you're going to start seeing right now what people relate to your values. You're going to start seeing some more. You've been seeing a whole lot of that with Venus next to the sun. But when it comes into, once again, things you want to birth now. So now it's not just things that are emotion. It's a lot of potential energy. You're going to be really trying to see the relationship between how your aspirations and your development in a creative or spiritual way is in relationship to people you're surrounding yourself with. And that's going to result in you wanting to make certain decisions about who you surround yourself with around this time. Gemini, can I get a ashe? That 12th house is all turned up right now. You got the moon and Saturn squaring you at the moment right now. So it just may be this little portion of the week may just have a influence of, highlighting what responsibilities need to be taken more seriously. And your friendship activity may highlight that around this time this week, Gemini. So you may realize this is a priority responsibility. But when I be kicking it with these niggas over here, or when I be kicking it with Shorty over there, that take me away from my responsibility in some type of shape or form. That may be what's going on right now with the moon and Virgo. All right, so that's what we got going on, Geminis. Next on the clock, Cancer. Shout out to all the Cancers in the building, man. Y'all season is loading up. It's about to be y'all time in just a few. All right, so Cancer, we got Mars in Taurus, and this is now in your 11th house. This is in your 11th house. Okay. Let me just make sure. Yes, this is in your 11th house now, Cancer. Now, we have a lot of activity, or this Gemini activity taking place in the 12th. All right, we got all this activity taking place in the 12th. So right now, Cancers actually could be in a very hibernating type space, a very isolated type space right now, because there's a lot of influence about to come into the first house. When you have a lot of planets in the 12th house in general, it could throw you into a space of isolation. All right, negative space would be anything dealing with overindulgence that could lead into escapism. Positive space is just embracing your isolation just for recollection to resolve things from the past. All right, but for the most part, Jupiter is home in the 12th house now, Cancer. So this next year is going to have a whole shift with how you expand upon belief systems in general. It's going to be new things that you gain. There's going to be new things you engage in during this phase when it comes into spiritual development. It's going to be new teachers, new insight. It's going to probably be new forms of spirituality you're going to want to practice around this time. It's a very spiritually inclined transit in general. All right. But with all that being said, there's been a lot of interaction about belief systems and whatnot, having all this activity here. So now Mars is in the 11th house. The passion and pride about what you value can be taken into this space. Is it going to be used to empower and motivate others? Is it going to be used to be able to cooperate and, create situations where you can manifest transformation with others based off of a shared passion? Or is it going to be you creating transformative situations in different ways because of the clash of passions? Because of not being able to identify power and controlling issues amongst colleagues, co-workers, associates. Because we get some of that with Mars in the 11th house. We get some people being a little power and controlling amongst different group environments, community, associate-like environments. So that's something you have to keep your eye out in Cancer. Okay. And then once these, while Mars is in your 11th house. While Mars is in your 11th house during your season, Mars going to be sextiling all these energies, right? You're a sextile to Taurus. You and Taurus share a lot of moon energy. We know moon has a lot to, it's dealing with bringing in a lot of influences, dealing with attracting, all right? So you're going to have a lot of, during your season, we're going to have Venus in Cancer. We're going to have the sun in your sign. Mercury's going to be in there. These energies are going to have to pass Mars in a harmonious way. There's a lot of transformation you can manifest dealing with taking something from the first house and giving it to the 11th around this time, Cancer sun rising. I don't know what that's going to be. But guess what? The sun and Venus and Mercury going to be in your first house. So this is the time where all your personal value is going to be super highlighted around this time. It's going to be a huge level of excitement or self-encouragement. God going to be tapping on your front door when it comes into value that's been getting it's getting a little dusty now. We ain't doing nothing with this value in the first house. You know how much this could help with people in the 11th house? You know how much transformation Mars could bring into the collective or groups and community with this right now in the 11th house, Cancer in the first house. Damn, you so private in this first house, woman. Damn. You telling me the world don't know you cook this good, woman? You mean to tell me you braid hair this good? No, a brother need a little tune-up right now. Need a little co-wash right now. Like a mug. All right, damn, Cancer in the first house, women. Damn, Cancer sun rising. So I love this solar return period coming up for y'all. It's going to be a lot of glitz and glamour going on during y'all season. It's going to be a lot of excitement. It's going to be people forcing y'all to do things. But it's gonna come off in a harmonious way, though. This is a sextile. It's gonna be people passionate and forceful, but they uplifting you, they're encouraging you about around this time. So anything dealing with things that you're unaware about with yourself when it comes to your value system, or anything that the collective can use to transform that you have in your first house, opportunities to connect that is going to manifest around this time. So Cancer, we don't got time for you getting caught up with all this Gemini energy, having your heart in partnerships that are not reflecting how devoted you are to the partnership. That's too much time and energy where you about to have all this magic happen with a connection from the first to the 11th house. You understand what I'm saying, Cancer spirit person? All right, I got 8 minutes. All right, other than that, Cancer, anything else you need to be aware of around this time? Okay, Saturn is 19 degrees right in the middle, getting that middle portion of Pisces, so it's definitely, tightening y'all up. So the water signs got to deal with more responsibility, stability around this time in general. All right, a lot of water signs had to go through some experiences. Y'all kind of had to get out y'all feelings to deal with some priorities, reality, and responsibility to a degree. And that's going to continue while Saturn is in there, but y'all are still building more stability, utilizing your creative spiritual development, or traits, excuse me. All right, Cancer, Leo. All right, first square on the sign, first hot seat sign when it comes into Mars and Taurus. Leo, Mars is in Taurus is in the 10th house. Excuse me. No, yes. Mars is in the 10th house. I love this placement. One of my favorite placements. I have this placement. All right, it's an exaltation. Okay, so Mars could lose its damn mind with its passion. It could just go crazy. It could burn itself out. It could do all of that shit in this place. This is the best place to do all of that. With your career building, who you trying to be in the world, your social status, your reputation, any form of project building, stability, social status. Mars go here, it could go crazy. It could gain social status for things it's passionate about. It wasn't even trying to gain social status. It's just passionate about this, that, and the third. It's passionate about saving this part of a country that's unfortunate. It's passionate about this charity work. It's passionate about this ideology. You got Mars in the 10th house, it gains some status for that shit. All right? Mars is going to bring transformation wherever it's at. So you have to be able to identify what's bringing frustration in career right now. All right, whatever's bringing frustration in career, let's see how to manipulate that situation into a solution. All right, it may be frustration dealing with how you want to navigate the space, the company, career that you're in. It may be situations dealing with navigating, a new intention, a new passion, and being seen for that in the 10th house to a degree. All right, so we got that going on with Mars in the 10th house. Nonetheless, here, I know I did mention you can burn out here, but you don't want to burn out because the 10th house still deals with patience and stability. All right. So here you just want to make sure there's a new sense of a blueprint with your passions here. You got Mars in the 10th house. If you're dealing with anything where you're trying to expand branding, you're trying to bring advertising, you're trying to bring expansion to any type of status, social status or something, you can gain so much traction with this placement around this time. So much transformation can take place here. All right. How do we do that? Making sure with the 10th house values, making sure with this Leo rising values in the 10th house is being seen. Is being seen, making sure there's some intention behind, put some passion behind the value you're trying to be seen for in the world in some type of shape or form. All right, the thing here is, Leo, you got to slow down a little bit. You have to slow down. You move too fast in the first house sometimes. You move too fast. All right, Taurus in the 10th house always teaches you, Leo rising sons, that regardless how creative you are and your ability to gain attention and light for things you want to grow in your life, there has to be a sense of, structure. It has to be a sense of, foundation with 10th house aspirations. Your natural raw expression could take you so far until there's a plan, a sense of order for what you want to do with that creativity here. All right. So the intention of what you finna do with that first house expression awareness, that's what we're learning during this square, during this transit. All right. So that's what we got going on. Leos. That's the square energy there. Embrace the changes in the 10th house. Embrace being pushed to be seen for something in your 10th house. All right. Especially if it's something that you're already familiar with being good for in your first house. Something that you have awareness of, awareness of in your personal life already. All right. Now, Virgo, this is a trine. You up in the club, Virgo. You up in the club right now with Mars and Taurus in them. All right. And Mars and Taurus going to spend a lot of money in the club. Like I told you, it's a braggadocious placement. They want the strippers to see that they up. I ain't doing all this trapping for nothing. Y'all go see this. All right. So Mars in Taurus is in the 9th house. This is trying the first house. So this is actually showing me earth signs could actually be dealing with more of a speedy pace of things, closing out Gemini season right now. All right, even though we all is under this Gemini energy, but we have the 9th house. Mars is got in the 9th house, so it creates a new influence of intention when it comes into exploration in general. All right, now in your first house, Virgo, in your first house, which you have the moon transiting right now, so you make sure you're, reacting and responding to what you got going on in your personal life. Give some nurture, some energy to that around this time, Virgo rises. But what this is going to do, this is going to create opportunities for you to be exalted right now for things that you could just teach. And right now, there may be things you're passionate about learning. There's things that you're passionate about exploring, and you're going to develop a new passion for exploring. The exchange of that experience can manifest different opportunities. You embracing the opportunity to explore new things amongst your passions can itself just bring new opportunities in general. All right, so you want to be open to that. I know at times, Virgo, that 9th house energy, it'd be a little too turned up. So you could be a little reluctant jumping into a sense of adventure exploration, especially when they come off so spontaneous. But there's going to be a lot of those situations. It may be something you have an intrigue for, and you ain't know how much you may have an intrigue for. It may be something new, an opportunity to experience may manifest soon, and you got to kind of make a quick decision if you want to get into it. So it's going to be like maybe a couple of series of that type of influence going on with Mars in the 9th house to a degree. All right. So Mars and Taurus in the ninth. This can create a lot of competitive energy amongst your belief systems. All right, the ninth house is an expression house, is the expression of your knowledge and wisdom. Mars comes in there. You got Taurus in there. Earth in the ninth house be stable on their belief systems. If they a Buddhist, they's a Buddhist. It is no religion conversion in this experience. What they is what they is, and they standing on that. Taurus in the ninth house when it comes into their values here. Fixated Earth here. All right. So a lot of value placed into whatever their belief system and philosophy is. So when Mars comes in here, y'all can already see how that intensifies. All right. But you being able to manage any sense of intensity, any sense of, you don't have to debate everybody that wants to challenge your belief system. There may be certain things you want to explore and experience around this time. It may go against something dealing with the third house. It may go against something dealing with your culture, your tradition. You want to date me. You want to date a black nigga. Your family ain't fucking with that. Depending on where you from, they like, you is not bringing this. Do you see his hair? We ain't got one family picture with a nigga that got hair like this. No, you not dating this nigga. So you try to explore something entirely new. Your third house ain't going. Now you fighting Mars. You fighting for your belief system. Now you got to show your pride, your passion for what you want to explore and experience. Okay, it'll play out like that sometimes with Mars in that ninth house. It'll play out like that, and it's in Taurus. So you got to stand on your values around this time, Virgo. All right, don't allow yourself to be heavily critiqued, especially this early portion of the transit having all this Gemini season. Don't allow yourself to be critiqued to a degree where you're neglecting yourself, of something you want to experience, right? Especially something that you feel like is in correlation for your goddamn life path, right? You already know what it is being super critique. You are a Virgo sun rising. That's your life. Some people's getting used to that energy right now because we're dealing with a Gemini stellium, especially this portion of the week with the moon in Virgo. Some people just getting used to that. So you got to be the example right now. This is a trine. You got to be the example right now what it looks like to go ahead and experience and explore something that your intention is in line with, that positive transformation is in line with, regardless if your opposite, your surroundings doesn't reflect that. Regardless if the people that surround you around you want to grow and expand with you. You feel me? So that's what we got going on with that. All right, everybody, I'm going to stop right there. I got to go ahead and live stream on Patreon. As soon as that's done, I'm jumping right back on. We're going to finish Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius, Pisces. All right, so we just went halfway. Hope everybody's having a fruitful week once again. And I'm going to see y'all in a few, family. Peace.